Hello, hello. Just want to check if we are live. Yeah, okay. It looks like we are live. Hi. Hi, everybody. Nice to see you. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I am so sorry for rescheduling this live. I've shuffled a couple of things around in the group, and all lives will be happening on Fridays going forward. So I'll be adding a post in the group on Mondays, and that will allow you guys time to ask questions for that week's upcoming live. And I really hope that this is going to add more value to you so that you can get more out of these lives, especially for those of you who may not be able to make it to these lives. You can ask the questions, and when you catch the replay, well, I'll be answering your lives. So I hope that helps. For those of you who don't know me yet, I am Sam, and I'm your confidence coach. And today we're going to be answering the question of how to become fearless. And we're going to look at the ways that fearless people become fearless and the things that you can do to bust through your fears and your limitations so that you can walk away from this live today really feeling empowered and confident to take on anything. So if you're watching, comment and say hi so I know that you're here. Give me a heart or a like, show me some love, and then tell me where you're watching from. I'd love to know where all of you are from, because I know that we've got people in the UK and South Africa and Australia and New Zealand and from all over the show. So just let me know where you're watching from. And if you're watching this and you have any questions, please go ahead and leave them in the comments. I'll be sure to get to as many of your questions as possible during the time that we have available today. And then, as always, if you're watching the replay, be sure to give me a hashtag replay in the comments just so that I know that you've stopped by. And also go ahead and leave any questions that you may have in the comments, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So let's jump in. Have you ever looked at someone who is fearless and wondered, maybe they were just born that way, or maybe they just don't have any fears, or maybe they're just so good at everything that they don't experience fear? In my experience, that's not the case. Fearlessness boils down to a simple understanding of emotion, that is fear, and learning how to live with it. Fear is a belief, okay? Fear is defined as an unpleasant emotion caused by a belief that someone or something is dangerous and it's likely to cause pain or a threat. It's also that voice in your head that says, you're not good enough, or you won't succeed, or what will others think of you? We all have fear, okay? It's an emotion that is as normal as breathing. It's when people cling to the fear that prevents them from moving forward with their lives. The good news, though, is that it doesn't matter what it is that you fear, because there are a few basic ways of dealing with that fear, regardless of how silly that fear may sound to you. The first thing that you do need to understand is this: fear is only in your mind. Think about it. How many of your fears have actually ever come true? Not many, I guess. Research has actually shown that more than 80% of all of our worries or fears actually never happen. So that begs the question, well, what's the point of having them in the first place? So the one thing that I've learned through coaching others is that the only difference between those who achieve greatness and those that don't is that the ones that achieve greatness, they ditched their fear. They leaned into the fear and they did it anyway. So moving away from pain and towards pleasure is a survival instinct. If you're fearful of speaking on stage, for example, or in front of large audiences, that could be considered a pain, and your brain will do what it needs to do to keep you safe. One other thing that we need to remember is that feelings overcome logic. In the battle between logic and feelings will always, always, always win. So the idea then is to link fear with pleasure. So I've got an example for you. So two people have the opportunity to speak on stage. Both get clammy hands, both get butterflies in their stomach, both feel nauseous, like they want to throw up. The first one says, "Oh my God, I am so nervous. What if they don't like me?" The other person says, "I feel great. I feel so excited to be here and to be able to speak on stage and share my message. I simply can't wait to get up there." The first person is linking pain with the clammy hands and the butterflies and the nausea, while the second person is linking those exact same feelings with pleasure. But what they're feeling is exactly the same, okay? It's simply their thoughts that they're associating with that experience that differ. So you have the choice between, I'm feeling excited, running my own business, or I'm feeling scared about running my own business in case it fails. Here's another example. I feel really excited asking my boss for that promotional pay rise, or I'm feeling so scared. What happens if he says no? You have the power to choose what you link pain and pleasure to. So when you really want something, you can't link pain to it. You have to find something pleasurable to link it to. So what makes somebody bold and fearless? Hi. There are a few things that I noticed with successful people. And so I'll give you a couple of those things that I've noticed. But the biggest thing is that they're prepared for the challenge. They're not blind to the risk of potential failure. They simply plan for it, and then they decide how they might react if things don't go according to plan. They also don't obsess over possible disasters. They also understand their fear and where it comes from. It's about finding out why that particular thing scares you and you eventually dealing with it. So if you think back 2,000 years ago, okay, you're the hunter, you're out there looking for food, and you hear a growl. You turn around, and behind you is this tiger that's twice your size, staring at you. He's licking his lips, and he wants to make you his dinner. You feel fear, and then you either fight or freeze or run. So in that example, fear has saved your life. But in modern days, those sort of threats they're minimal. And, the fear that was designed to help you and keep you safe 2,000 years ago is something that's holding you back now. Does that make sense? If that makes sense, let me know in the comments if that makes sense. It's also very important to understand the three main sources of fear. The first one is your biology. So that's the primal fear of threats or harm, and that resides in your reptilian brain. That's the thing that kept us safe 2,000 years ago. The second one is your life experience. So if something scared you in the past, for example, maybe being bullied as a kid, something to that effect, even though you're an adult now, that fear of rejection and victimization still might haunt you, okay? And the third one is your imagination. And now this is a big one because your brain can't tell the difference between what is real and what is imagined. So your body actually reacts to the thought of the fear in the exact same way that it would if the events actually happened. So you can project a future scenario and scare yourself out of it when it hasn't even happened yet. Or on the flip side, you can also project a future scenario where everything works out just the way you want it to, and you can calm your anxiety that way. So knowing where that fear comes from and why you're fearful of something gives you the power to then take back that control, right? The more confident you are in your ability to handle whatever comes up, the more fearless you'll be. So the other thing that fearless people do is they feel the fear and they do it anyway. They typically view failure as not taking action or not even trying. And I've actually heard a fearless person say, I can handle failure, I can handle rejection, but the one thing I can't handle is regret. So for you to become fearless, you need to understand your fear. You need to acknowledge it and befriend it. And in that way, it can either become your ally and help you to identify your weaknesses and vulnerabilities. Next, fearless people take action despite their fear, not because of it, okay? Ultimately, it's the actions that you do or do not take, okay? Are you willing to lean into the fear, or are you going to run from it? It's still your choice. The other thing about fearless people is they know what it is that they want and why they want it. You know, when you really, really want something, you'll find a way to get it one way or the other. You'll stop making excuses. If you say that you really want something, but you're vague about it, and you can't say why you want it, then you probably won't get it. Why? Well, you know, your brain is an objective accomplishing machine. You know, we've spoken about this before. It's like a missile. It needs clear instructions before it can do its job. So write a list of what it is that you want, and then on the other side, write a list of how it's going to benefit you and how it's going to benefit others. And what I've found is that the more reasons that you write, the more likely you actually are to achieve what you're after. Hi, nice to see you guys. The next thing is that they have a winner's mindset. Okay, so your habitual thoughts determine your destiny. You are who you are because of what you think. Fearless people know that they are the only thing that's holding themselves back if they let it, right? So use your mind in a way that empowers you instead of hinders you. That's the way they do it. So take a moment to maybe examine your own mindset. How could you improve your thinking to become more fearless in life? Another thing is that they use their visualization to program their mind. And, you know, so we spoke earlier about your brain not knowing the difference between what is real and what is imagined, right? So decide what it is that you want, okay? Then make an amazing image or movie in your mind of what that will look like when you're there. Revisit that movie or that image regularly and add as much detail to it as possible. Add feelings, add sounds, you know, really make it as 4D as possible, okay? This will help your missile-seeking brain to achieve, or reach the goal rather, that it's seeking to achieve. So, as a quick recap, start by becoming aware and noticing when you're experiencing fear. The next time you notice that fear inside of you, remind yourself it's all in your mind and that 80% of the things that we fear never actually happen, okay? Then ask yourself, what is the worst that can happen if I do this? If something doesn't work out, yeah, you may feel disappointed, you may feel embarrassed, but it's not going to kill you. So is it really that bad? In fact, it would probably teach you a lot, which you could use to your advantage the next time you try. So try keeping things into perspective, you know. Don't over-dramatize or indulge in unnecessary fear thinking. And please don't allow fear to be a barrier to your success. Write down a few ways to deal with the worst case scenario. You know, often if we get our thoughts out of our head and down on paper, that fear actually subsides. Also ask yourself, how is this fear impacting your life? You know, it's important to realize what you've got to lose by staying paralyzed in fear. So take a deep breath, tackle your fear head on, and you might be surprised to find that it wasn't actually as bad as you thought it would be, okay? Another bonus tip, which I love giving my clients, is consider a fearless person who you look up to. It could be somebody real or imagined. It could be somebody famous or maybe somebody you even know. And think, how would they act in that particular situation? What would they say? What would they do? Now, go ahead and mimic that. Sometimes you just need to fake it a little until it becomes second nature. So I really, truly hope that this helped you. I know that this has only been, you know, a quick 15 minutes, but what I do know for sure is that you have it within you to bust through all of your fears. You are stronger than you think. And the beauty is that you don't need to do this alone. I've busted through so many fears in business, in my career, in relationships, in health, you name it. I've been there and I can help you to do the same. Fear doesn't just go away. You know, you're going to be constantly faced with new fears to bust through. Even till today, I'm still dealing with fears and still having to bust through them almost on a daily basis. You know, but sometimes we just need to find that courage inside and look it in the face and push past it. So if it's time for you to get that support, send me a DM. I'm here to support you and hold your hand through every step of the way. And if you joined late, please watch the replay. You know, we've been looking at what makes people fearless and the things that you can do to bust through your fears and limitations so that you can also live an empowered and confident life and, you know, be confident to take on anything. You know, the fact that you've shown up to watch this today tells me that you're showing up for yourself and that you're taking action, okay? You can do absolutely anything that you set your mind to. And I'm so proud of you for showing up for yourself today. So please just take a moment to acknowledge and honor yourself for taking this first step to conquering your fears. I'd love to invite you to send me a DM right now and tell me what fears you're facing, what's keeping you up at night, how can I help you navigate this? Don't keep trying to do this alone. It is really not necessary. You are not alone and I'm here. I would love to help you. So I really hope you found today of value, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again next week, Friday. There don't seem to be any comments or questions rather in the comments box, so I'm assuming everything is okay. Again, if you do have any questions, follow-up questions after this, please just drop them in the comments and I'll get back to you. I'm pretty good with getting back to all y'all quickly. So next week, Friday. This is an interesting one. We're going to be talking about weight issues that are weighing you down. It's a pretty big topic and I get so many questions around this. I mean, we all know that if you're not feeling confident in your body, it's really hard to be confident in relationships or in your career or in yourself. So you definitely don't want to miss that one. It's going to be good. It's going to be just, you know, it's going to be amazing. And as a reminder, Monday I will be posting or adding a post to the group where you can start leaving your questions if there are any questions in particular you want me to answer on Friday. So drop them in there. I can't wait to see you all there. Have an amazing weekend, everybody. Thank you so much for joining today, and I hope you got some value out of this, and I'm sending you all tons and tons and tons of love. So have a great weekend. See you soon. Bye.